guys, so today I'm going to do episode 3 of Miss Marvel's review. There will be spoilers, and yeah, that's really it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, so let's get started with this. I loved this episode. I will not say this enough. I think the best part of the show is the friendship with Bruno and Kamala, and we got to see a lot of that. Although the overall story with the wedding was not my favorite, I still thought it had a fun and cheerful vibe, which made me really like it. I also I also really liked Cameron in this episode. In the last episode, I thought he was fine. I thought he was a pretty good character, but I really liked getting to see him with his family, although they did become like evil psychopathic people, which yeah, don't recommend that. Don't do that. But hey, they were good for one scene. That was one thing I thought was a little sad about this episode, was the fact that they changed so quickly. I really like when it's like I don't want to call it a slow burn, but we're like, you're gonna do friends to enemies, like all that stuff. I liked it. I would like it to actually make sense and not happen in like one scene they were best friends and like really cool, and then the next scene they weren't so cool, and there were only two scenes with them together in the whole entire show. And it wasn't even like, I don't really like you, you need to get me back home. It was, I want to murder you in those two scenes, which was kind of weird to me. But it was done pretty well. And they got arrested by the bad guy, so I really hope that they don't use that against that they aren't used against, so that they find out who Kamala is. I really hope Cameron gets out of jail and it could be like a Kamala Cameron duo fighting. That would be amazing. I'd love that. Please. Yeah. I thought the whole thing with them being Jins was super cool, and I was not expecting that to be talked about. I feel like that might be how they're gonna deal with that instead of having Inhumans. That's what it seems like, is having Jins instead of Inhumans, which is kind of sad, but I can deal with it. I also I loved the overall feel of the show. It was really funny. It was really cheerful and happy most of the time. But the whole entire wedding thing was not really my favorite place to set the plot. It was done well, but no one's gonna say the wedding scene was my favorite scene in the movie or in the series, and they kind of put the wedding all around this episode, which was fine. It was done in an enjoyable and fun way, but it wasn't my favorite. I also I love Nakia. Nakia, I think is how you pronounce her name. I really liked her scenes too. I love her as a character. I think she's amazing. I loved her in the last episode. I really hope we get to see, like, because now she knows that Kamala is Miss Marvel, maybe we get her and Bruno and Kamala like practicing when Kamala's learning her powers. That those scenes would be super cool, and we get more scenes with them, because although I really do love the scenes with Bruno and Kamala with Nakia, I really love it when they're a trio, and it's my favorite parts. I love those parts. So let's hope so, because I love it. I also really I love the costumes in the show. The costumes are so bright and so colorful, and they make it a more visually appealing show. And yeah, I really like that. I feel like the costumes really bring it all together and represent and show each part of the character. Just by looking at them, you can see a part of them, because like Kamala normally has a superhero on her shirt. This episode there was Iron Man on one of her shirts. I think Natasha Romanoff was on one of hers in the first episode. It was either that or Wanda. You weren't able to see it, but she had red hair, so I wasn't really sure. Um, but yeah, so it was really interesting how they're tying the costumes with these characters, and I think that really shows that all parts of this show are really good. I also I love the editing of her powers. It could come off as really cheesy, but it never does, and I think that makes it an even better. I love that we got to learn more about her grandma and more about the Bengal in this episode. That was really interesting. I really liked that part too. I just overall I love this show. I love all the characters. I love the vibe. I love all the information. I love Kamala's powers. I love the editing. I love the costumes. I love the overall story. It's just so good. And if you've not watched Miss Marvel and you're a fan of the comics or a fan of Marvel at all, or just want solid Muslim representation, you should watch this. Yeah, it's really nice to see a movie with Muslims in it, because I feel like it's not represented very much in media, and if it is, it's in a negative way, which isn't very great. Don't do that. No. Ick. That's gross. Don't do that. Boo. Boo. Yeah. I don't know why I did that, but it's gross. Don't, don't, don't do that. So it's really nice to actually see a Muslim family aren't that are normal people. I think is the best way of saying that. And it's sad to say that, but it's nice. It's nice to have that representation of Muslims that are just normal humans. Okay. I thought I should end with that because I hadn't really talked about that, and I feel like it's important to talk about, so I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, that's been 7 minutes. So I normally try to keep it lower than 10 minutes for these videos. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't think I forgot to say anything, but if I did, I'll tell you in the next review. I hope you're doing awesome. Thank you for watching this video. I love you all 3,000, and please stay safe. You can watch Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, so go watch it. I love it. It's a really good show. You should go watch it. Yeah, okay. Bye, guys.